it should perhaps be called anti-social media, since for all too many who engage in online debate, whether about politics or other subjects, reading messages sent on Twitter and Facebook has become something to fear rather than enjoy. Penny Mordaunt, who was Defence Secretary until she was sacked by Boris Johnson, has been leading efforts to find a way to allow us to tell people to rein it in, to tone it down, but not using words, but emoticons. Penny Mordaunt joins us in the studio now.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. Now, what's the idea behind this, given how much we've heard about the abuse, particularly women politicians are facing at the moment?
Well, we have quite a lot of tools to combat really extreme abuse online. We can report people, we can block people, we can call the police, we can identify bots and get rid of them off Twitter. But what is sometimes harder to do is combat the lower level abuse, which gives permission for all the other stuff to happen. And we don't have yet, I think, the social norms that we do in real life online. So this is a new campaign that we've launched today to look at how we might do that using emojis.
Now, for people who don't use emojis all the time, they may not realise that you can say you're happy, you can say you're sad, you can do all sorts of things. You can't sort of tick people off, can you? You can't say, hold on a second. So what do you want these symbols, these emojis to do?
Well, people can... if they're being a victim of abuse, for example, it's quite difficult for people to reply to somebody. You don't want to get into a long conversation with someone that's bullying you. If you're a bystander and you see abuse going on, it's quite difficult to know what to do to intervene. And yes, you can send a GIF or you can send an emoji, but there's no consistency across what people are doing. And the idea of this campaign is if we can get some consistency and some recognised ways of combating particular types of bullying on social media and put them in the emoji keyboard, which is on everyone's iPhone and device, that we'll be able to actually establish some norms and hopefully improve some behaviour.
So that's the key, is you can't just do this yourself. You've got to persuade the industry that, for example, you've got one, haven't you, that you've come up with a sort of wagging finger, you've got a waving a yellow card, you've got blowing a whistle and the rest, that those should be standard things that can go on. So if someone's watching a conversation take place and just thinks, hold on, that's a bit OTT, they can express that.
Yes, or if one of your colleagues oversteps the mark, you can DM them one of these things rather than have a difficult conversation you might not otherwise have with them. So I'm putting this out there as an idea. I'm interested in other ideas that people have. I've been speaking to people like Monica Lewinsky, for example, who did a similar thing but had it on an app. I'm interested in all sorts of ideas, and the plan is if we get enough support and we can finalise some designs in the new year, we would pitch to the Unicode committee and see whether they would include them on the keyboard.
Now, speaking as a woman still in politics, not in the cabinet, but still in politics, running in this election, we heard from some yesterday, how worrying is it? Because you will know sometimes people say, you don't really need to worry, they say, about the people who send you these messages. They're never the ones that attack you. Do you really feel that reassurance? Or is it a quite alarming place to be at the moment?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. The first is, although we focus on politicians, obviously we're in an election at the moment, people are going to do that. This is affecting more people than politicians. It's if you're a charity trustee, if you're a school governor, you get this sort of stuff online. So I think this is a problem wider than politics. I personally have never felt safer doing this job. When I first started out in politics, I had a particular individual who eventually got a convicted sentence. It was very difficult to get the police interested in that individual. The only way he was actually investigated and DNA samples were taken from things he was sending me was because he was defrauding the post office using business reply envelopes. If that sort of thing happened today, the police would be on it straight away. So I would just encourage, and reassure all candidates in this election, this is a great job. There are some downsides, but it is a fantastic job. You can do a huge amount of good.
This is the first chance we've had to talk to you since Boris Johnson. There's no way of sort of sugaring the pill. He sacked you, and it wasn't expected, was it, when you walked in to number 10? How much of a shock
I can
was that?
hardly complain. I didn't support him in the leadership contest, but as he fired me, I said that he would have my full support, and ditto for the chief whip. And the reason for that
when
is
you say you can't complain, all of your friends did. I spoke to them. Many of them, I didn't speak to them all,
I know,
said
they're
Penny has been treated very badly. She's good at the job. She's recent in the job. And it shows a sort of brutality in the Prime Minister's mentality.
The Prime Minister is entitled to pick his top team, and he has. And I have absolutely no difficulty with that at all. And I said to him straight off that I would support him. I think we all have to get behind him, not just because we need to get Brexit done, and the whole country just wants that over with and done well, not just because we need to ensure that we've got a Conservative government to ensure we've got a strong economy.
We've had a Tory minister on to make the case.
And if you forgive me as a former Defence Secretary, because we need strong defence and armed forces as well. And
just
will not do.
One last personal thought. You weren't just Defence Secretary. It's a passion of yours. You've been a reservist, haven't you? And you wrote in The Spectator about the moment you were fired. Ours not to reason why good command cheerfully accepts all mission with humour and loyalty. It's just what you have to take, is it? If the officers behave badly, you've just got to do what you're told.
Well, I think that we ought to be thinking about the country at this precise moment in time. I think we are in... I fought... This has been my 5th election, and there's never been a more crucial time.
You sound like someone who might just be thinking of getting back into the cabinet.
Well, that's not up to me, is it? Let's not worry about things we can't control. Let's worry about things we can control. And I think it's up to all of us to try and make social media a nicer place.
Need an emoticon for give us a job. Penny Mordaunt, former Defence Secretary, thanks very much for telling us about your campaign.